Yo, yo, yo.
Hey
What up,
guys,
man?
welcome everybody. Starflight Media Gaming. My name is Anthony, and I'm here with Chris. And we are doing a list video that used to be very popular on our show. So
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
ain't, we ain't
we
doing
haven't
this in
done
a
one in a
minute.
while.
We ain't doing it in a while,
So
man.
our list this time is we're doing a my favorite format, lifted straight off of co-op. So go check them out. Um, we're doing a draft, top five draft, and we are now going to with the release of Astrobot on the PS5, which is now being regarded as one of the best platformers of all time. That's everything that I'm reading, and possibly Game of the Year contender, which is crazy. We're gonna do a best 3D platformers of all time list. So
Yeah,
we're
let's
gonna
get
start
to
off.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with our number one draft pick. You want to go first, or should
You,
I?
you go.
All right, my number one draft pick of all time is gonna be an easy pick, and I'm sorry guys, but you have to go with the granddaddy of them all, Super Mario 64.
64. Yep.
Yeah, that's a no brainer. It set the stage. Yeah, there were 3D platformers before it, but nobody did it better, and it's hard to argue that anybody done it better since.
Yeah.
There's always come close or as good. Rumors are that Astrobot might be up there with it. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go easily. Super Mario 64 designed what 3D platforming felt like, and even though it wasn't open world, it sure as hell felt like open world at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number one pick.
That was my pick as well for
It's an easy pick.
number 5. I thought we were going to 5
Number
to
one is a draft pick, so
okay. I thought it
yeah.
was going from worst to greatest.
No, it's a draft pick. If you're in the NBA, you're not gonna pick your worst player first.
Oh, okay. Cause okay.
Yeah, you pick Jordan right off the bat.
Yeah, but all right. Mario Galaxy 2.
Great pick. Great pick. Any reasons why?
So, all right, I'm sorry, guys. So before we recorded, I asked him. I
Is
said,
number one
"Yo,
the best?
what are we? What are we doing? Are we doing number one the best?
I
Are we
explained
doing
it.
5 to 1 or 1 to 5?" And he said 1 being the best.
That's
All right.
right. And I
So
said, and
I'm
then I,
thinking we were just doing a regular list, but then now we're doing a draft.
oh, I said the draft.
So yeah, when we started recording,
No, I
so
said it beforehand, but
so
maybe that
I
Don
was
Julio's
gonna
getting to
wing
you.
the list of 5 off the top of my head,
I
but
mean,
now it's a draft, so now I gotta.
you can say
That's
that.
more than
That's why I said. That's why I was so surprised when you said I'm gonna wing it, and I said, "You sure? Okay, well, we're gonna wing it."
all right, so yeah, Super Mario Galaxy 2, man.
It's a solid pick.
It did everything that Mario 64
It was up
did,
there for
but
me.
better. And it wasn't Mario Sunshine. And without them, we don't get Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. So
So that's the
Galaxy
best,
2. That's your
in
number
my
one
opinion.
pick. That's your number one pick.
Yeah, it's my number one pick.
Definitely not the best, but that's fine because you already admitted 64 was your pick. Uh, but that's fine. You don't have to. Not everybody can have Michael Jordan. Sometimes you got to get, Scotty. So Mario Galaxy 2 is your pick. I have to go with Super Mario Odyssey as my number two. My number two pick is Mario Odyssey because of what you just said, which is it built upon what Galaxy 2 did. It felt like a true sequel. And it's hard to argue that Nintendo doesn't have possibly the best 3D platformers, and especially the Mario series ever. And you could go down that line of Mario games and pick and choose. And you're not gonna find a really bad one ever. So yeah, to go right after his number one, the next best has to be Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, so Mario Odyssey is great.
Yep.
It was great, and I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But my number two got to be Super Mario 3D World, the one that dropped on the Switch.
Bowser's
That
Fury.
give you Bowser's Fury as well.
Mm.
So now you got the cat suit, you got the Tanuki scoop, whatever you call it, the raccoon tail,
Yep.
and you got the 3D side scrolling. Plus you got the
Bowser's
added
Fury.
the added 3D version, and you got the expansion of Bowser's Fury.
Great game.
I'm gonna say that because listen, it meshed the best of both worlds,
It was great.
and you don't get Mario 64 without Mario 3, and Mario
What?
3D Mario 3D World is a love letter to the 2D platforms that we grew up on that turned into 3D.
Very similar, yeah. I mean, there's the overworld map and all that. Definitely is a callback to the old SNES style overhead map and the NES style overhead map of Mario 3 and Mario World. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that pick. It's fantastic. This is not a.
It's a draft.
Yeah, it's a draft of the best. How can you? There's not gonna be a bad game on this list, guys. I don't think he's ever gonna shit on any of the games I pick. It's hard to argue those points.
It just sucks that the first two are Mario.
The first three so far. Yeah,
It gotta be.
Yeah, because you went Mario Galaxy and also 3D World, and I did Odyssey and and Mario 64. But keeping in that theme, we're gonna go with Sonic Adventure 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. There was later a GameCube version and PS2 and Xbox called Battle. My personal favorite is Sonic Adventure 1. But when you go out there and you listen to the internet, maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's rose-tinted glasses. People seem to really love Sonic Adventure 2. Initially, the game was reviewed with mixed reviews. This is probably going to be the weakest player on my list, but I know that people out there are going to love the pick. So, Sonic Adventure 2, the Sonic and Shadow levels were really fun. Some of the best versions of a 3D Sonic game ever. So I'll give it that. The the cat levels and all that stuff were really slow and not my favorite. So probably the weakest part of that game, but that's my number 3 pick.
Number 3 for me is the Astrobot game that came out on the that was free on the PlayStation 5.
Oh, that's controversial. Yeah, so okay.
So and I'm gonna go with that because again, I have a young son. But getting him into gaming wasn't hard. He likes to play games that is above his
pay grade.
His pay grade, right? So, but you would think that Astrobot would be easy.
Right.
So he has trouble with Astrobot because there's mechanics.
Or it was like Astro's Toy Box or some shit like that, right? Wasn't it? You're talking about the free version that came with...
The free one that came with the PS5.
Yeah.
So... You would think that it would be easy for he's
a kid.
He's 5 now.
Yeah, but
no. So Daddy, I need help, and now I'm coming over to help him, and they have a little mini screen, and they tell you what you got to do with the controller.
Right.
So now, for instance, one of the sections where you are a monkey robot. Matter of fact. Forget the monkey. One of them is a slingshot. And you got to use the touchpad.
Yeah.
And you got to pull back on the touchpad.
Yeah. Using
the gyro motion.
Right.
To aim it and fire it and let it go.
Yeah.
The second instance was crazy because it's a monkey. And you're using the controller and you're going like this to... Now you're climbing vines.
Right.
But you're also... pulling back on a touchpad, or you're kind of shaking it to jump, and you got the features. I was just
they were using. Well, it
was a tech demo.
Yeah, it's a pack-in game to show you what everything your controller could do.
Yeah. So doing all of that, because I never played it.
Yeah.
But my son was playing it.
You're like, oh, this isn't so bad.
I was like, yeah. I was
it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
And that's probably why we
shocked.
got. This is why we got that full game, because that was a real positive response to that.
I was shocked.
Yeah. Not bad. So that's your number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So number 4, my number 4 pick, my power forward. I'm gonna go with Sonic Colors for the Wii. There's no getting around it. Modern 3D Sonic games are trash. They're a total mess. Yuji Naka really, left the company. Nobody's ever filled his shoes ever since he left Sega. And this is one of those last times where we got a masterpiece from him. We got something that was just gold. It was so good that they tried to port it over later on and they ruined it. Anything the Sonic team touches is trash. Sonic Colors, in my opinion, is the last great... Sorry, James, I know you love Frontiers. Is the last great 3D Sonic game.
James, I got this. Don't worry.
Oh, he's gonna put Sonic Frontiers up there, but that's we'll find out. That's my number. That's my number 4.
Sonic Frontiers is number 4. They gave us the open world Breath of the Wild Sonic.
Horrible game.
Bro, listen, playing that with my son, zipping around in the levels, zipping around in the free world, jumping and hitting boxes, the robots and shit, and running around them to kill them. Come on, man. Hell no. Nah.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Well,
Sonic Frontier, bro.
I'm happy you picked that.
You want to get Sonic the movie 3 without Sonic Frontier.
Oh, that's not true. Sonic the movie came out before Sonic Frontiers.
I said Sonic the movie 3 without Sonic Frontier.
And we wouldn't get Sonic the movie 3 because the first 2 did so well. My final pick. My center. I have to be roundabout. We definitely did Nintendo and Sega proud, right? But I'm going to go with Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back for the PS1. Why not 1, right? Or why not 3, Crash Warped or whatever? 2, for me, felt like they got it right. The PS1 didn't... I mean, Crash was a major success, right? It was runaway. They had all the great commercials with Crash Bandicoot outside the Nintendo headquarters, like, hey, plumber boy, come outside. And that was good. But the first one left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. They didn't really have a great camera system. 2 seemed to really get it right. And it was, at the time, it felt like Sony had a mascot, even though technically they didn't even own Crash.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot, beloved, still makes games to this day. They're all still pretty decent games. There hasn't really been a bad Crash. They've all been average. At worst, they've been average games. And, you know, that's just to round out, like, the nostalgia. The nostalgia, you know what I'm saying? And it's also one of the best 3D platformers of all time. Period.
He's the leader of the pack. You know him well. Now it's time to kick some tail. DK. Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong 64 with the expansion pack. Mind you, had to go out and...
Had no choice. It came with it.
You had to upgrade your 64 to play the game. They had the Donkey Kong rap. That was...
Has nothing to do with it. But yeah, it was a classic.
It was a great 3D adventure. That was the first 3D adventure of a Donkey Kong game. And Donkey Kong Country used to slap. So you if you like Donkey Kong Country...
You're not going to like DK64.
But you bought that shit.
You definitely bought it.
And as a platformer, looking back, because we got Banjo-Kazooie after that and all of that.
I would say Banjo-Kazooie is a stronger pick than DK64.
Yo, we without Donkey Kong 64, we wouldn't get Banjo-Kazooie.
That's not true.
You could argue with me in the comments.
Yeah, you could argue with that. I would say Banjo-Tooie is probably the strongest second party outing ever on the N64.
Donkey
DK64 is a strong pick. I'm not saying it's not. It's, you know, it brought me a lot of joy. I never beat it because there was too many things to collect. But Banjo-Kazooie was also too many things to collect.
I wasn't collecting 120 stars in Mario 64.
But you couldn't beat DK64 without the collectathon. You couldn't even
beat
it.
You
never beat it.
I was never beating. I was
you
never
beat
collecting
DK.
120 stars for Mario.
But you couldn't beat DK64, even with like a minority of things. You had to collect everything. Neither here nor there. Was it a good platformer? Absolutely. What is your guys' favorite team? Do you think he had the better team? Leave a comment. If you think I had a better team, leave a comment. Or hey,
I was going off a top 5.
Even better.
So
even better. Make your own list. Make your own list.
Let's think of a top 5.
Leave your top 5. Leave your draft below, and then we can decide what your draft was rated. You know, we'll give you a score from 1 to 10. Guys, join us every week here at Starflag Media Gaming.
He hit me with the Shabuzi.
He got mad because, you know, we've done drafts before and he didn't realize, you know, it's that Don Julio.
He said, let's make a list.
You guys can run it back. And
no.
It doesn't matter. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us at Starflag Media Gaming. 3,000 subscribers.
Yeah, the next video is gonna be me super kicking him in the head like Shawn Michaels.
Definitely not gonna make it in the video. So, follow us on Rumble, Echo Chamber.
It'll be on iPhone 12.
Take it easy, guys.